Namaskar, everyone, and once again, welcome to our Wednesday meditation. And of course, we are continuing our conversation on purification of the mind. And we have a fantastic practice today to work on this important topic. So, we have been discussing what purification of the mind is from a more spiritual perspective. Today we are entering a more practical approach, and we are beginning to explore more of the concept of this in the mind. And of course, we also want to talk about how that has a physical effect in the body with this practice, and why, of course, meditation is known as purifying the mind. So when we talk about purification of the mind, we might think that we want the mind to only have good thoughts, but we have already discussed that the activity of the mind is part of its nature. The activity of the mind is part of the nature of the mind. So therefore, if we put an activity of the mind and then we put another activity of the mind on top of that, we now have to deal with more activity. It takes more effort to address that activity. So right now it's early morning. We woke up perhaps not long ago, 1 hour, 2 hours ago. And perhaps you've already done a few things in your day. But I'm sure you have all felt that when it is early in the morning, your mind is different. Your mind is calmer. This is also because there has been less activity. Of course, there's also a brain explanation. When you wake up, you are more in what is known as the alpha state. So the awareness is different. You're still part of you, maybe remembering your dream, reconnecting to where you are, who you are, what you are supposed to do. So the mind has less activities, less stimulated. And you can feel as you do the first things of the morning in your mind, you can feel the awareness of the mind. You can feel the activity of the mind. We have discussed very much about what this activity is in the topic of behaviors of the mind, which is such an incredibly important topic to understand. So, you notice as you go throughout the day, there is more and more stimuli happening to your mind. You have entertained more thoughts, and then of course more things have happened that have created something in your mind. You have created opinions about people, judgments about yourself, all manner of different things. So when we talk about this purification, we know that these opinions, that these judgments, that these ideas that we create are also part of the activity. So the mind reacts to something, and then we put another activity on top. If we have some amount of activity, for example in the morning, and we want to meditate, it's actually not that difficult. It's easier. We take a deep breath in the early morning, and if we begin centering ourselves, it is fairly easy. This is why morning is the best time to meditate, early morning. Throughout the day is harder, not just because you're busy, but because there's more activity in the mind. For most people, it'll be harder because there has so much going on. And they will think about everything that happened in a day. So to bring that activity into calm, it takes some effort, it takes some energy. So when I say putting an activity of the mind on top of another activity, we talk about that same self-judgment, that judgment of the mind, that activity of the mind going on top of what is already happening in the mind. So you have a thought, and then you can come back into the presence. But instead of coming back to your presence, normally what you are doing is that you are putting another layer of activity to it. You create an opinion about the thought. You judge the thought. You qualify the thought. You have thoughts about the thought. You have memories about the thought. You have adjectives, words, images, imagination, all manner of things. So it becomes more of an effort because the mind is used to that. We have allowed the mind to be used to that because it has a nature and we do not master its nature. So then it becomes much more complicated. So when we talk about purification of the mind, again, it's never about destructive elimination of any negative thought as we see it, although that will happen eventually. What we mean first and foremost with purification of the mind is how we perceive the mind, and to avoid putting activity of the mind on top of activity of the mind. To stop, in other words, judging what appears in the mind. This judging is putting an activity on the top of another one, and it takes more effort to come back to the center. We have discussed that when we are thinking, when we are meditating, we will see all kinds of activities, all kinds of thoughts. And then sometimes we'll get distracted. Sometimes we'll have thoughts that are negative and take us away. Of course, sometimes we'll have thoughts that are positive. But as we learned in the first session of purification of the mind, this is the ebb and flow, the push and pull in the story of the demons and the gods who are pushing and pulling, each in their own direction. But this is part of nature. These negative tendencies of the mind allow us to understand our own identity, our own pattern, and how we need to use that as a force, as a power to improve our life, to improve our spirituality, to improve the quality of our mind. So never about judging yourself and saying, oh, I feel this about myself. I feel bad about myself. I don't like myself. I don't like when I have these thoughts. No. It's more about something very, very important, very fundamental, very basic, very necessary, which, as I always insist, is only awareness. You need to be aware of the thoughts. Only that. Don't worry about the negative or quality aspects of the thoughts. That's a different conversation. Once you catch yourself judging yourself as a bad person, as a weak person, as this or that, I encourage you to take a deep breath, to relax from it, to realize that you have put some event that has stimulated your mind covered with another layer of mind activity. Now, the mind is not a bad thing, but it is as my teachers say, as my masters say, it is delinquent. It is powerful, it has behaviors, it has a nature, and we don't master these behaviors in nature, so we should. That's why we are here, so we can master this. Now, how are we going to increase our spiritual connection through the mind? How are we going to make this more spiritual, but also begin making it more practical, so it can really help us in real life? Shri Vasudeva said this very recently. He said, God is within you. This God, what God is it? It's the God of the universe. It is right behind the breath. It is right behind the thoughts. It is right behind the emotions. The God of the universe is within you. What more could you ask? So, can you wrap your mind around this? Can you understand the God, the big creator, the great creator, originator of everything is within you, not just with you, not just above you, it's within you. The master says behind the thoughts, behind the emotions, behind the breath, and today I want you to start exploring that deeper and deeper and deeper. I know if we do a mental exercise together, yes, we can come, all of us, into an agreement where we can say, okay, yes, I accept that the God of the universe is within me, okay. But then, thinking about it is not enough. What do we need to do then? You need to remember, of course, we're going to practice this. This God is the originator. So he originated you. If you don't want to think of this in religious terms, in terms of deities, there's still a divine principle called God consciousness, or consciousness, or the self, or the cosmic self. That is the creator of the entire universe, and you come from that. That is inevitably the truth. You come from a supreme source. you realizes that that is where you come from. As far as you know, there is no one on this earth who is you and who is more aware than you. Only you can say for sure who you are and the awareness that you have. Only you are the biggest witness that there is and ever has been and never will be for your experience and for the entire experience of the universe. Everyone else, you have no guarantee they exist. Only what they say and what you think. But you are the only one that fundamentally is aware of your own individual connection in this sense. So you come from this universal source, this universal I, this universal witness. You come from it, and everything else in the universe has been originated from it. You come from this source. So my question to you, take a moment to reflect on this question. Take a deep breath. Do you know you come from a divine source? Can you accept that you come from a divine source? Can you accept that you are of divine origin? And I'm sure the answer is yes. So you are of divine nature. It is who you are. In the meditation, what we will do today is to seek to observe this. The breath, of course, as we have spoken, in this tradition, is not just the oxygen, not just the air flowing in and out, but we call it the prana. Prana. It is a life breath. It is an energy. There is an energy in the breath and behind the breath. It is a current of energy that, as it enters your system, it uses your body, as it were, as a way to channel or go through currents. But it is not off the body. It is not off the mind. But the body and the mind will help you to get there. More so the body, actually, than the mind. So this prana is a vital energy that, of course, comes from that source too. Your breath, as Shri Vasudev said at the beginning, right? God is right behind the breath, right behind the thought, right behind the emotion. So, in the same way, this breath, this energy, this vital force, of course as well, the air, the oxygen, it all comes from that divine source. So when we observe really carefully, when we have first learned to be super present, really present, and we increase our ability to witness, which takes some time, takes some effort, then we can start feeling that power of the universe right within our own being. We can start feeling how to breathe, how to energize ourselves. And of course, during the meditation, I guide you and I tell you, breathe like this, breathe there, inhale deeply, exhale completely, the belly, the chest, the shoulders, all these things. But it is ultimately to also bring you back from the mental tendency and connect. You do need a little bit of the mind. You do need a little bit of the body. You do need a little bit of the energy. And when we can do all three simultaneously, consciously, there's a great harmony that happens in the system. There's a great harmony that happens in the whole body, in the whole system. Every single body. As we have discussed in other sessions, we have many bodies, not just the physical body. So we want to explore that deeper. And we want to explore that through this question that I asked you. I ask you all if you can admit to me, admit to yourself, if you can remember that divine origin, if you can remember that divine nature that you are. That is why there is a powerful declaration that is used in these cases. It's a mantra, a very simple, short mantra that says, Soham. Soham. Soham It's a very powerful mantra. It's a seed sound composed, so hum, of two sections, so and hum. So, hum, which means I am that. What is the that I am in this mantra? Is I am that so. Or I think I wrote it here. I am that self. I am this consciousness. I am that God. I am that witness. I am that awareness. That is the I am that we speak about in this mantra, Soham. Soham, if you have listened to your breath very carefully, you will see that it is the most fundamental sound that comes from your breath. When you inhale, the sound of So is there. For some of you, it may sound a little bit more like Sa than So. And then when you exhale, the sound of Hum is there, which for some of you may sound a little bit more like Hum. More Hum than Hum. More Sa than So. But this is the core of it, the So Hum, the I am that. Why? Because even in the breath, which is the most simple, but also the most advanced of all practices, we feel this. We are able to remember our divine nature. So today we will use this mantra of I am that. Today we'll use this in our meditation. I will guide you so we can implement it as a way to re-enter the programming, to remember this divine nature that we have, no, that we are. So when you are not in remembrance of your divine nature, what happens? When you have forgotten that you are that, when you have forgotten that you have a divine origin, all type of things happen. First of all, is it not a waste? If you have said yes, are you able to see, therefore, that you are of divine origin, that you are the son of God, the daughter of God? You are your own responsibility, and if you have this connection, as long as you're alive, you have this power, and it's a huge responsibility. Isn't it a waste? If you could see somebody outside, imagine that no one has this connection, but just one person, and it's outside of you, but this person doesn't use that connection, would you not say that's a waste to not remember your divine energy? Wouldn't you like for them to remember their divine energy? So if you have this connection, is it not a waste? Do you see how every challenging experience that you have is constantly trying to remind you what your divine nature is? That's why challenges come. Should we not also remember that if there is a divine origin, that this mind also is of that origin? The mind is divine. Never a negative thought. Never a negative thing. But it feels negative only because we haven't mastered it. That's why the mind is challenged. That's the challenge in the mental world. So when you create a thought with your mind, you're doing it with divine power. What are you doing with your divine power? Are you creating a meaningless thought? Are you creating a negative thought? A disempowering thought? A destructive, dark, lower tendency type of thought? Or are you creating an intelligent thought, a brilliant thought, a wise thought, a loving thought, a powerful thought, a life-changing thought? If your mind, and if you yourself, who are the master of your mind, if you come from that energy, from that divine source, could we not say that you have the power to create any thought? You literally do. You can think of anything that you like, but you need to train your mind. And of course, not coming to the judgment if you fail to do so. If you fail to do so, you need to come back to your center and see, well, I have distracted myself again. Sure enough, it's a waste, but let me come back to the center. Because if I distract myself and then I attack myself, I judge myself, I put myself down, I'm giving more energy to the opposite side of the team. They're going to pull anyway. Why should I give them more power? Let me come back to the center, to the task at hand. So this God consciousness, this divine consciousness, this self, this God, it has qualities. This is important to remember. This is the last part before we enter into our meditation. It has qualities. What are the qualities of the divine? Maybe I should have asked you before putting the answer on the screen. I got distracted putting something on my feet as it's very cold. So what are the qualities of the divine? Of that source that you come from? What are its qualities? Love, power, presence, prosperity, energy, inspiration, wisdom, intelligence. It is omniscient, omnipresent, omnipotent. This is 10 seconds of talking about the qualities of the divine. 10 seconds talking about, therefore, 10 seconds talking about who you truly are. You know how long we could spend talking about that? So long, because there are so many qualities of the divine. How many qualities? Infinite qualities. Aha. So let us meditate by remembering this Soham, this I am that. By remembering that these qualities of the divine are accessible to you. Are you even allowing yourself to think, what are the qualities of the divine that could best support your current stage in evolution, the current place where you are in your path? Just think about what you need. Do you need more love, more power, more prosperity, more energy, more inspiration, more wisdom, more grace, more surrender, more possibilities, more charisma, more good luck, more intuition? What is it that you need? What is it that could best suit the current step of your journey? If you make that clear in your mind, it will come. That's how you create a positive thought. You need to enter the habit of creating powerful thoughts, positive thoughts, important thoughts. Let me go beyond saying positive, so as not to enter into the realm of duality. When I say positive in this context, I mean a divine thought, an enlightened thought, a wisdom thought. Mars, I don't know what to think about. I don't know what I need. I don't know what I want. Well, create a thought of aperture. Create a thought of receptivity. Create a thought of such deep, sincere, and authentic love and desire for discovery that then that comes. Create that thought. Create that thought. When you are distracted, recognize this. Such a shame. Let us meditate. I invite you to center yourself in a comfortable position. Center the body first. Let us come into the present first by connecting with PMA, present moment awareness. The simple 3-step process, which is connecting first with your physical body, accommodate the physical body, make the physical body comfortable and happy. Become aware of your posture. Second step is becoming aware of your face. Feel your facial expression. Relax the face. Adjust it if needed. You can move the face a little bit if needed. Relax the face, and you may even see, perhaps our conversation has supported you or inspired you, perhaps a gentle smile comes. And of course, now we bring the awareness of the third step, to the breath. Inhale deeply and exhale completely. Do not breathe as the mind tells you to breathe. Let us first accommodate the body by breathing according to the necessity of the body. If you expand your belly and your chest when you inhale, you will bring vitality and power to the body. And this is important for your meditation journey. We are entering a silent meditation. In remembrance of that divine nature, let us remain present. Do not let the mind distract you. With any of its activity, you are aware of the activity of the mind. We use the mantra as a way to anchor ourselves in the presence and in this remembrance of the divine. This protective mantra will also protect the mind with the sound of soham. Internally, when you inhale, let the sound come as you inhale. So, and when you exhale, internally, let the sound come as you exhale. Hum. And thus we enter the rhythm of the mantra. So hum. So hum. So hum. Slowly breathing in and out, returning to your body, to your physical presence in the room. Connecting with the wisdom of the body to breathe in accordance to what benefits the body. Inhale deeply and exhale completely. Let your meditation be energizing and empowering for the physical body. So again, don't breathe as the mind tells you to breathe. Breathe as the body needs it to be connected and healthy, active, for an active day. Fill the lungs with air and fill the entire system with oxygen. Inhale deeply. Fully reconnecting with your physical body. You can do the process of caring for your eyes to protect your eyes from the light. And now I'll give you a few moments to journal for your meditation. All right, everyone. I hope you have enjoyed our conversation today. I hope you were able to feel our practice during the meditation. I leave you with this concept of the qualities of the divine, meditation is all about connecting with that inner self. It requires us to be constant. As I say, we can't just sprinkle meditation throughout the week or yoga or reflection throughout the week. We need to stay consistent as much as you can. The more you connect with this, the more that link, that bond remains active and open, that inner connection. And of course, it feels good, it grants us so many benefits. But to make it more practical, well, we need to engage with the world. We need to engage with what we want, who we are, what we need. So I can reflect, what are the qualities of the divine that benefit you? What are the qualities of the divine that could really support you in this current stage of your life? Should you apply more love, more patience, more power? Just think of what you think that you lack. And the more you strengthen this connection, the more that will come. The more that will be strengthened. I know this has been the case for myself, that it constantly gives me more. And of course, we need to always remember that if there are pending karmas that we need to go through, then we ask for something and a beautiful, perfect, designed, corresponding challenge will come so that we can resolve that karma. This is why we repeat certain things, so that we can resolve them. That is why there are patterns in the mind. So reflect on this and pray for what you seek from the divine, and it will be given to you through grace or through a challenge. Today, this is all the time that we have, as we have another activity. But normally what we do is, of course, after our journaling and after our meditation, we do a bit of discussion of how our meditation was. For now, I will ask you to please do that through the private group just for today, as sometimes the time of the session needs to run short. I would love to talk about this for more and more time. I really would, but sometimes time comes for us. So please engage in the private group. If you're watching this recording, you can also send a message to the private group how your meditation was today. And if you're watching the series and you're not part of the private group, you can always comment or share in any way as well. And I hope this also encourages you to join that private group. So for now, this is everything we have for today. I want to thank you all so much for your practice. To take a moment to share what you have discovered in your meditation. To take good care of yourself. And as always, be healthy, be happy, and absolutely don't worry. I'll see you all tomorrow for our morning yoga practice. Namaskar, everyone. Have a beautiful day.